I'm here. I'm not drunk, but my spelling is horrible, and my heart feels like it's mildly palpitating in my chest. And I want to know my heartbeat. My heartbeat. This sleep ring for the sleep test that I'm doing. I want to check my heartbeat. I've had two monsters. My heartbeat was up at 110 earlier. Usually it's resting at 74 according to this thing. Oh my goodness, it has to connect to my phone. Oh, I don't want to tell me nothing because it's dumb. Yeah, you're fine. Come on, just connect, please. Great. According to this ring, I'm currently dead. Oh, come. It's probably because my legs were crossed. And I know at the doctor's office, they tell you, don't cross your legs. Okay. Off. On. Boop, boop, boop. Well, my heart feels funny. I almost said my fart feels funny. I'm not gonna use my microphone. We're gonna have horrible audio quality on this. Okay, let me do streamer things. Bed. Go bed. Go night. No. No night. No night for source. Channel. Yay. Okay. I'm doing. We're not doing Bible study night. I'm just existing. Sure. Hey, I actually spelled that right. My spelling in Discord was awful. It's not registering my heartbeat. I think I died, guys. I think I'm dead. Am I dead? Register my heartbeat, you. I amuse myself, and that's what matters. My eyes hurt. Yay! I don't think anyone that knows me is gonna be on. Can I don't want to share. Is there a way I can upload? Creator dashboard. Yay! Nice work. Affiliate was dummy. Well, now that I am slightly inebriated, or I'm not inebriated, I am something. Yet. How do I content? Collections? Oh. Video produce. I want a tree. I want, how do I, can I publish you? VOD will inspire in 3 days. Okay, well, how do I upload you? VOD page. For download. I can download. Also, okay, I do want export. Yes. What? So, that's not the one. I did word and this all new. Yeah, let's view. Okay. But how do I? 23? I had 23 people. How? How? How do can I export you to Twitch? Oh, export to YouTube. Okay. Oh. Go to VOD page. Okay. So how do I view this? Videos. There they are. I wonder why I wasn't able to see them before. So people really liked the Bible study. That was also my longest stream, I think. Okay. There's no one here but me. I'm so tired. Who are you? Yay. Yeah, leave. Okay. Discord. That feels so good. So how do I keep videos on Twitch? That's what I want. How do I keep them? Oh, my head hurts. My eyes, it's right behind my eyes. What was I? I was gonna do like drunk Minecraft, but how monsters affect someone with ADD and supermarket together. My eyes hurt. Tired. This would be more effective with actual alcohol. I do not encourage drinking under the legal age. It's not smart. The United States has that law because brain function. But they already destroyed the brain anyway. Device disconnected. Okay, that's fine. Who's messaging me? Yay. I need to wash my face, my forehead as well. because if my eyes is probably migraine. If I turn off the lights, it'll probably be better. But then you won't be able to see my face or my microphone. It's right here. Okay. I'm gonna stop whatever this is. I'm just gonna make this small. I see that now. Oh god, don't throw up. That's another thing. If I have too much caffeine, I'll throw up, which is not fun. Okay, that was just a burp. Ugh. I'm gonna go cure game. Yay! And then we're gonna go ahead and hide window capture because we don't need that. Great! You can see now. We're gonna load store. Ugh, everything feels bad. Everything feels bad. I need to stop drinking Monsters. At the very least, we need not do it on a slightly empty stomach. Oh god, everything feels bad. TMI warning, it's also near the end of the month. So this could also be period cramps. I tend to get cramps the day before I actually start. Oh. I'm fine. Why am I doing this? Oh. The one time I pressed record without hesitation. And with full confidence, I've captured my suffering on camera. And nobody is here. No one's here. It's just me. But I can upload this to YouTube later without any editing. Because I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. Okay, we're gonna start. Game is working. Yay! I wanted some music, but the last video I posted on YouTube that had music in the background is unavailable in some countries because certain songs were copyrighted. So if I turned on music, it'd have to be so only I hear it, and then you guys wouldn't get any ambiance or anything. So, dear. This is my driving bunny. If you know what anime this is from, no you don't, and hush, I didn't know what anime this was from and it was gifted to me. I love it. I thought it had said I had been on here for an hour and it panicked. I used to keep this with me when I drove. When I first started driving, because I get really nervous and it's really soft, so I reach over and pet it. setting up is hard. I have so many thoughts running through my head, but I'm not loopy enough to let them out. I mean, I could talk about how I feel like I'm a failure a little bit. It's 50. How I cried today because I got yelled at by my youngest brother, but he said he was sorry, so it's fine. I was sitting in the HEB parking lot tonight around 8:30 and was eating a brownie and drinking my first Monster. And I sat there and I was thinking, I hear about all these people, all these women who have like some creep approach their car at night and try to open the door. And I was wondering, how does that never happen to me? I'm in the DFW area, and before that I lived in San Angelo. And San Angelo is not safe. It's not. And I think because the adults, because the people my own age, they're just wannabe thugs hopped up on whatever they could get their hands on. With daddy and mommy issues. I was like, why is no creep approach my car and try to open my door? I realized that's because the car I drive has disabled veteran license plates. Because it's my dad's car. And when people say military veteran, I think they usually think of a male. So I'm in the car and I'm munching on my brownie and singing to my music in a dark parking lot alone at night for like half an hour and sometimes more, and no one approaches me because they think I'm a grown man. It's great, I have immunity. Yay. And apparently, if I wear a loose hoodie and pull the hood up, no one can tell I'm a girl. I did that when I was meeting my now ex-boyfriend and his friend at a gas station at night because my dad had a bad feeling. My dad has a really good gut. If he has a bad feeling, you listen to that bad feeling because he's almost always right. But it was night and my dad had a bad feeling and I'd never been in this gas station before. So I wore a hoodie and kept up while I was driving, and I parked the car, and I get out, my boyfriend's like, I had no idea it was you until you got out of the car. I had no idea you were a girl until you got out of the car. Dope. And I think I also had a baseball cap. I pulled out the whole Avengers hiding starter pack. Have you ever seen an Avengers movie? In an Avengers movie, anytime they have to hide who they are, they put on a baseball cap and sunglasses, which I didn't do because it was night, and they pull up a hood. That's it. Even Black Widow. Dude, that's how you want to not get recognized? That makes about as much sense as people not knowing that Superman is Clark Kent. Or that Wonder Woman is Diana. It's the same face. Stupid. You want to see my Straightman's photo cards? I'm just now realizing. Oh god. This is. Oh. I get it now. I don't get it. What do I get? I can't find them. I have 3 Stray Kids photo cards somewhere. They're in my bed. They shouldn't be in my bed. They should be in a safe place. There you are. They're from the Dominate World Tour. So I have Han-sung. Yeah. And then I have Ian. Money on top. Ooh, oh. Money on top. Why do you have a 1964-1995 hat on? You were born in 2000. But yeah. And Ian's card is extra special. It has this design on the back with all the names, and then my Hyunjin photo card is attached to my purse. I started calling him Hyunjin because I was learning Japanese, and I thought that was the correct pronunciation. And then I learned a little bit more about Korean, and I learned that Korean, they have Americanish pronunciation. So you don't need an accent when you're speaking Korean, not really. So it's not Hyunjin, it's Hyunjin. Hyunjin. Hwang Hyunjin, who's my bias. And I saw a video today on Instagram. I was like, you wake up in the body of your bias, which is like your favorite K-pop person. What's the first thing you do? I don't know. It's Hyunjin. If it was Bang-chan, I'd say go to sleep. A man needs sleep. Or if it was Felix, I would say go to sleep. A man needs sleep. They all need sleep. Hyunjin's been nodding off. Last I checked, too. He seemed like he's been doing it recently, but for a while he would like just pass out sitting there and they'd have to wake him up. So, yeah, I guess go to sleep. And then indulge in some of the things he likes and just, I don't know, even the things he doesn't like. I would do what I could to make sure that his body was healthier than when I found it. And just for that, I would use all the supplements and all the vitamins and drink all the water and get all the sleep and sunshine and all the things. Because he's awesome. He is a nice young man. He works very hard. And he deserves to be treated well. They all deserve to be treated well. I don't know what's going on between Bang-chan and Felix. People are talking about how it might be because of something on bubble status, but I don't think so. And there's also people that don't think so because Bang-chan wouldn't get upset over something so silly. I think that it's probably a spiritual thing because Felix is a Christian and Bang-chan used to be a Christian. I don't know if he still is, but God, he does not act like it. With all the shirtlessness and the songs he does, the certain songs, if you're Stay, you know what songs I mean. And Felix has said recently he still does Bible study. He's still very much in the Word. And the light that people say he has is because of his love for Jesus, which enables him to love everyone around him. Everyone. But with the point that Bang-chan is, and with the way that Ian is now, after living with Bang-chan, the same young man who had said he wanted to be a priest when he was younger, is now... Ugh. Bang Chan is supposed to be a leader, and he has gone astray, and he has corrupted IN. Not out of malicious intent, he is just... I think he's going through stuff. I don't think he realizes how much him giving into his more inappropriate behaviors, whether it's for stage or because that kind of stuff sells or whatever is going on, is not good. And I have a feeling that Felix probably talked to him about it, was like, hey dude, it breaks my heart to see you like this. You need to stop. You're going down a path that could really hurt the entire group and yourself, and I don't want that for you. And like anyone who's in that situation, especially as someone who's in authority, hearing that from someone that's like technically underneath him in authority, and that's like a son / younger brother to him, I'm sure Bang Chan isn't happy to hear that. That hurts. It causes this feeling of guilt because you are now faced with the consequences of your actions, and you kind of realize what you've become and where you're at now. And then also just, I don't know. I think that's what happened. I think that's why Bang Chan and Felix have been kind of distant from each other. Or maybe they got in a fight about something else. Or maybe they're both just tired. Or maybe Bang Chan told Felix that he needs to stop taking care of everybody all the time, and Felix wrote down, and who knows? And it's none of my business. I worry about them, and I care. Oops. I keep thinking I'm gonna throw up. Anyway, Bonnie the Bunny. The game I said I was gonna play video game, and I don't even know. Can you see me well-ish? Yeah, this is. No, real suck. I'm little nauseous. I'm on day 13 in this. And I could start on a new map if there are more people here. I probably would, but it's late, so nobody's gonna be here. If anybody is here, it's gonna be like new people. But what I do is if there's less than 20 of anything, I buy more of it. Sometimes I still run out. And to that I say people are greedy and they need to slow down and deal with it. I have my game volume pretty much muted for this game, so you guys will probably hear it better than me. I'm still gonna have less than 20 of that. Yay, and I can have my employees do stuff. Work onto storage, restocker. And at this point in the game, it pretty much plays itself. All I need to do is restock during working hours. Restock and then sweep the floors. They got everything else. Oh, I need to pay stuff. Oh, I already paid it. What the hell? Did you guys... What was that? I thought it was a bug. My mouse goes outside my window. I don't know if I like that, but I mean it's fine because I'm not really moving around it. stats. It's probably an employee bike stuff. Yeah. And anyway, and they're probably not gonna do it right because there's a lot of books in this game. I don't know how long ago it was released. I know there's DLC for it, but I didn't get any money or a job. I should be looking for one. But honestly, I'm in no state to do that right now. I shouldn't even be awake. At like 1 a.m. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll see how many people hop on, if any, at like 1 a.m. And then I'm going to bed. Hi. Bye. Whoa, were you two the same people? I think I hired two of the same people. It's a twin. I thought I hired a man. I did not hire all women. We are an all-women staff. Do I want to help? I mean, I could. I'd make a little extra money. I kind of want to sprint like I usually do. Just gun it, but I don't want to make myself sick. I'm just gonna let them do this for a few minutes, and then I haven't done my Bible study yet. If I'm awake enough to do this, I'm awake enough to write on paper. I can write on paper. It is not that hard to write on paper. It might be incoherent nonsense. That's probably very bad imagery. Yeah, if you watch some of my earlier videos on YouTube, you will see that my facial expressions are weird. I'm very insecure about those. Because I don't even know why I want to say it's because autism. I used to not have good awareness of what my face does, and then I started making YouTube videos, and I became very aware of what my face does. So then I started retraining myself on my expressions so that I'm more photogenic. This one. My ovaries. I am not my ovaries or my liver. Oh, it hurts. Lord, forgive me, for I've done the dumb. This was a dumb decision. Bad source. Stop drinking monsters. If you see this on YouTube or Spotify or anywhere, put down in the comments, no more monsters. No more monsters for source. None. No mas. This bad idea. It's very bad. No. Anyway, Angel of the Lord. I am on Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. I think I'm gonna throw up. No, I'm not gonna throw up. I'm fine. And if I do, I will do it off camera and out of earshot. So those of you with the phobia of throwing up, don't worry, you won't see or hear any of it. My red pen is almost dead. Good thing my dad has a collection of more. My family has an insane amount of school supplies. Any kind of school supply.
My body's just like slowly releasing all the gas bubbles. See this? This is not supposed to happen. Usually it means I'm out of shelving space. Now we're gonna go ahead and beep. There. Do your job correctly, please. Thank you. I actually named them while watching a Markiplier video using the first 3 letters of a word he had said. I don't even remember what he had said. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember. Yeah, we still have more stuff to do. It made more sense if I stood in here, because then I can keep an eye on them and see when everyone is in there. When everyone is in there, I'll go back. Oh no, I will check. Why do I want to go to bed? Why do I do this to myself? Why? This is horrible. This is so horrible. This was dumb. Ugh, so stupid. Okay, angel of the Lord. Because this is angel and not just the Lord, we're gonna use a blue pen. Blue pen and in cursive because I like person. I like cursive. Oh my god. I can't spell even now. It's a good thing I have paper to look at. I have very sensitive teeth and I just breathed in and it hurt. Chide. Child is now spelled chide, if you didn't know. Yay. Okay. is she? Is there really that much store to restock? Are you okay? Yeah, there's really just that much to restock. Okay. I'll be patient. Child. Oh, she's back. Let me finish this sentence. Left for Egypt, where he stayed till the death of Herod. You know, I don't know what happened to Joseph, the father of Jesus, later in the Bible, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't mentioned because he died. Because, I mean, reading the Joseph that's in Matthew chapter 1 and 2 is, I mean, he moved the family to Egypt to protect his wife and his child. He clearly cared about them. He's a faithful man. He's described as a faithful man. Then again, it was also said that David was a man after God's own heart, and the thing with Bathsheba still happened. Okay, do we have at least 20 of everything on the shelves? Okay, my heart's beating funny again, but I'm gonna ignore it. Employees. To your places. You are security, because you have the highest security abilities. You all have your assignments. We're good. We're ready to go. Great. And then now I just sit here. That's all I do. I go back out there every couple in-game hours to clean and to restock. Because I know that's it. I'm pretty sure I have cavities. I'm pretty sure I have lots of cavities. I really just want to say screw it and play some music. I'll just like edit it out on YouTube or something. Because apparently there's a way to do that. Stray Kids it is. Most of my latest songs at this point is Stray Kids. So whenever I hit shuffle, it's usually Stray Kids. You stupid. Are you slacking? Whenever they're turned to the side like that, it means they're slacking. They're slower than usual, they're not interested in what they're doing. I don't know what your problem is. According to your things, you're happy. I've paid you. I've decorated the employee room. You have a fridge and everything you need to cook your own food. What is your problem? You know what? I don't care what your problem is. Get over it. I actually hit an employee with a broom once for standing like that because I thought maybe it would reset them. It didn't. So they what's up? Dang, we're making good money. Kind of not really. If anything has less than 10 procs during the day, I restock it immediately. Otherwise, I'm not really thinking about it. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. I'm gonna start restocking because I can. I adore Chick-fil-A. I just don't like ads of any kind. I mean, when there are ads done by people who understand funny, great. And people who I want to hear talking, great. Otherwise, it's like, shut up. Hey, I'm busy, you punk. Need a broom for this one. I don't want a broom. Little stuffers to buy little stuffers. Despite not knowing how to pronounce half of these lyrics, not knowing the exact translations, I do remember a rough kind of summary of the song, which is pretty much talking about how
music unites the world, how it can bring people together, and the enjoyment of just enjoying a song. Having a party, but it focuses just on the music and not on any other elements of a party. So like everyone around the world just wants to have a good time with some good music, and how he likes making music and sharing it with other people. I apologize if I'm making anybody dizzy by doing this. That's not the right one. It goes here. This step in mid. See, look. I'm helping. And should be helpful. I'm not helping you guys at all by running around like a maniac. And yeah, what's the house with the noise? A maniac. Okay, that's my role. I thought I was about to play Maniac for Stray Kids. Fun fact, last time I checked, Felix does not like the song Maniac. It drives him nuts. I'll just show you guys a clip from the song, from the chorus of the dance lineup they did. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Big Chin and Champion were so fed up. Yes. Excuse me. We close in like however long from now in game hours. 2:30 is. You guys do the math. I don't want to do the math. Math is for nerds. I actually used to really like math. Algebra was my favorite. I liked how all the numbers just made sense to me. Solving formulas was so much fun. Stray Kids. This place is a mess. One more drink. And boom. Pew. I kind of like that about this game. It's not a good thing. I shouldn't find enjoyment in that as a Christian. Love does not something evil, but rejoices with the truth. Synonym for enjoy or find amusement in. The love does not rejoice. I know the verse.
Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Oh, I talked about this briefly, but not very well, in on the Discord in the court server, or the court channel, because I'd brought up that I used to be bisexual, and Zachary had said that he thought I was a Christian. I was like, yeah, I am a Christian. I used to be bisexual. I still kind of deal with it a little bit. And he's like, but you're a Christian. Isn't that like against the Old Testament or something? I said, yeah, it is. Sin is sin, though. It's all bad. But, and there are different punishments for each one, different severities of punishments that were given out in the Old Testament for each sin. But, being a Christian doesn't mean you're perfect. But it does mean that you should be letting Jesus change you and turn you away from your sin. Work in progress. I'm better than I used to be. I curse a lot less. So my thing with bisexuality is I always knew I could never love another woman. I just found them attractive. I found them beautiful. That's not the right word, but I'm trying to keep it family friendly-ish, because I try to keep my channel family friendly while also being honest. But yeah, I just found them attractive. It was only a physical attraction. I care a lot, but I wouldn't say I've ever loved a woman, or that I am capable of doing so. I call that bisexual because that's something I knew. It wasn't something I was like, oh, I want to try this. It was just, that's how my mind worked at the time. I started feeling that way when I was 15. I started feeling that way when I first hit puberty, but I didn't know what it was until I was 15, kind of, because here's the things. My friends that knew me knew that I was a Christian, and I would tell them, and they're all LGBTQ, by the way, at the time. I would tell them, yeah, I'm bisexual, and they would deadpan go, no, you're not. Everybody that I knew and that knew me, anytime I was like, yeah, I'm bisexual, they just said no. I told my mom, and she straight up said no. I told her multiple times, and each time she said, no, you're not. The best response that I got was from my dad. And he had said that he is not rejecting me in any way, but that he thinks that it might be hormones. As a young teenager, hormones were all over the place, which makes sense. All these new feelings I wasn't used to. And being autistic, feelings very strong, things were a little confusing. He said, you're young, it could just be hormones, but if you still feel like this when you're older, that's fine, and we will cross that bridge when we get there, but I love you either way. And so just to be mindful of it, and to not hold too tightly to that label. I mean, really the only label that matters is the one that affects your eternity or afterlife. So when you're dead, nobody is going to dig up your skeleton and be like, oh, this person was bisexual or whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that part because that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, the only label label that really matters is the one that affects your eternity, which is child of God or child of wrath, which is like basically either you believe in God or you don't, or at least that's what I believe. I believe those are the only two labels that matter. But either way, they don't affect the way you should be treated while you're alive. While you're alive, I don't think any label matters. You're human. That's good enough. That's enough reason to care, at least to me. Oh, what do I know? Okay, good work, team. You can all go home. I'm gonna restock again. Just a little more. But I struggled with that for a while, and when my mom finally came to terms with it, she treated it the way she treated my depression or anything except worse. Depression she understood, and she was more supportive. With bisexuality, her point of view was literally just pray the gay away. And it stung, but at least she wasn't flat out just denying it and just saying, no, you're not. And I wasn't too mad at her for it, because my dad has had more exposure to those things. Being in the military, you meet all kinds of people. My mom had not. She didn't know what to do, and her entire generation grew up with the misunderstanding, the partial story of Sodom and Gomorrah, which is that what they were taught was that Sodom and Gomorrah was burned to the ground because the people were gay. Actually, Sodom and Gomorrah was burned to the ground because they were SAing and violating people in a horrible way, and also homosexual. So the whole story, God had told Abraham that there was a great outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah, that people were praying to God and begging him to intercede concerning what was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah. So God was going to go down for himself and see if it was as bad as they were saying. Of course he knew, but it was a chance for us to see Abraham's character, and also to see a bit of God's mercy and how God responds when his people come to him in prayer and are brave enough to ask him and plead with him on certain things. And Abraham knew that his nephew Lot lived in Sodom, and he bartered with God and got it down to like 10 people. If 10 people in Sodom and Gomorrah were found not guilty of this horrible act, God would destroy the cities. God would leave them. 10 righteous people. God went there, or he sent some angels of the Lord, which I'm not too sure on the correct translation of that, what that means, what angel of the Lord is, if that's an angel or if that's the Lord in the form of an angel. And he went there, and he went out to the city gates. Lot met him out by the city gates and said, hey, come stay with me. And the angel of the Lord was like, two angels, I believe it was, these two angels of the Lord, like, no, we'll stay in the town square tonight. But Lot begged, and so they went and they stayed with him. And then the city went up in flames because the people were gay. That's what was taught. But what was skipped over was that all of the men in the town, both young and old, came to the town square, or not to the town square, knocked on Lot's door and said, "Hey, we know that you have two male guests with you. Bring them out to the town square so that we can have intimacy with them." Lot said no. He firmly said no. They kept telling him do this, and he started begging. They threatened to break the door down to get to the two visitors. And he was so desperate to save these two visitors that were in his care that he offered up his daughters, which I can promise you God did not approve of that. While Lot is not punished for that, God has shown great love for his daughters. Great love. Insane amount of love for his daughters. He would not approve of any father giving up his daughters like that, but that's how desperate Lot was. And that's how insistent they were. They tried to break down the door despite Lot telling them a firm no over and over again to force themselves on these angels, what they didn't know were angels. An angel opened the door and blinded all the people and pretty much told Lot and his family, "I've seen enough. Take your wife, take your daughters, run, and don't look back." And then that's when balls of sulfur rained from the sky on Sodom and Gomorrah and destroyed everyone in there. It was never because the people of those times were gay. It was because they were monsters. They were genuine monsters. Consent meant nothing to them. That's why. Context is very important. Always very important. It's somewhere in Genesis. I don't remember where. You can look at it for yourself. Yeah, that's why. And that was the reason. Because of that mistelling of that story, that's why my mom was so hostile about it. And I retold her the story. I informed her, "Hey, this is actually what happened because I had read it." She goes, "Oh, I did not know that. That is not what I was taught at all." Unfortunately, churches are, I don't know if it's well known, but it's very common for churches, whether they're Christian or Catholic, though it's most well known with Catholic, to twist the Bible into ways that benefit them. I always end up talking about the Bible on these streams. I don't feel like that's a bad thing though. My face is so warm. But yeah, so dealt with that. But at the end of the day, my bisexuality was just lust. There was no love in it. It was bad for me. It affected me very badly. It affected my friendships. But the closer I got to God, the more that went away. I still have those thoughts sometimes. I look at another woman, I'm like, she's really pretty. But I am quickly and gently convicted. No, that's not right. That's not respectful to her. That's not respectful to her father. Whenever you look at a young lady like that, you're not just disrespecting her, you're disrespecting her father as well. So I don't know if you knew that, but now you know. It's disrespectful to her, it's disrespectful to her father. My parents raised me better than to objectify another woman. I'm better than that. That's not who I am as a person. That's not who I want to be, ever. So, am I still bisexual? I wouldn't say so. I would say that I struggle with those thoughts, but they're not. So, I don't know. I don't even know why I brought this up. I don't remember. But I feel like the monsters are starting to wear off. I'm not as tired, but it is 1 a.m. I need to go to bed. So, try not to throw. night. Good night. Stay safe. And remember to find reasons to smile. Bye.